Well, welcome to the first of these two supplementary videos to the Slow Mozart program. And here I'm going to focus on a complete concerto, one that I haven't used at all before. I could have chosen number 24 or number 25, neither of which has figured up till now, as I've just said, for these two one concerto videos. I can't fit the whole thing onto one. But as we have had quite a lot of solemn, deeply felt, thoughtful, reflective, sad, even tragic Mozart, I went for 25. 24 is in C minor and is one of the darker concerti. Number 25 was completed in December 1786 when Mozart was 30 years old. It's sometimes considered to be the last of Mozart's 12 great concertos. The numbers go up to 27. And it is with number 22 the longest. It seems amazing now, but Mozart's piano concerti almost disappeared in concert halls after his death. And it was only towards the end of the 19th century that some pianists, and particularly the Frenchman Raoul Pugnot, began to play them regularly and bring them to the attention of the public. This particular concerto became part of the standard repertoire even later than that, in the early or mid 20th century, since when it has been held in the highest esteem. The first movement, which is very grand, it's marked Allegro maestoso, majestic Allegro, and it's the only movement in all the mature concerti with that marking, is in sonata form. Now, I'm not going to attempt a full-scale analysis of it, though I do have a fair bit to say before we really get going. It starts with two imposing flourishes, big chords, grand and ceremonial, immediately followed by a little phrase, just 2 bars long, on woodwind, first time round bassoons, then oboes, second time round oboes, then bassoons. Here is the opening, and I'm going to play the first 18 bars, not that you need to know that, and then I'll stop it. And at bar 17, where the little phrase comes in, you'll hear a significant difference from what has gone before. And I'll say something about that when the music stops, and I will indicate the point I mean by raising my hand. You may well not know where bar 17 is. Here we go. And so it goes on. Now the point about that is that with a pa-di-lum-pum phrase, the last time it's played there, it's played in the minor key with flat notes. Dee-di-lum-pum, dee-di-lum-pum. And this alternation between major and minor keys is very significant in this concerto. By no means only in this concerto, but very much a feature of this grand, very emphatic C major first movement. And so we go on. It adds a great deal to the musical effect, and a sort of sense of tension and uncertainty comes in with the minor bits. You'll hear it again now. I'm going to replay the opening, but I'll let it go on. I won't stop it where I did there. And just after the minor ba-da-lum-pum in bars 17 and 18, listen for the strings in bars 19 onwards. They do a very, very important little figure. 3 quavers and a crotchet. Ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-rum, 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 like that. This pa-pa-pa-pa figure pervades the whole movement, and it appears all over the place and in all sorts of ways. It appears loudly and boldly. It appears plaintively and quietly. You'll hear it again in the next significant tune. Ba-ba-ba-bum-bum-bum-bum-ba, da-da-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-ba. That's the major version, and ba-ba-ba-bum-bum-bum-bum-ba, da-da-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-ba. Again, you get the alternation between the two. There's in between what you've just heard and what I've just attempted to sing. There's a fair bit of energetic bustling about. But when we get to the other little tune, I'll raise my hand again just so. you know where we are. Okay, here we go. Playing the opening again. Minor. Major. Oh dear, cutting it off like that, it's horrible. There we are then. That's all I have to say by way of illustration. We're lucky in this concerto that these things happen quite early because I can't cut into the middle of a movement using CDs. Soon the piano makes his entry after the exposition, the first version of it. And there's quite a long section, unusually, which in effect introduces the pianist to the audience and the orchestra and the music. It lasts for many bars before the repeat of the exposition comes along. And you hear the grand opening chords again. This time the piano plays a leading role throughout. Now, there are a couple of other things I want to mention, and then you'll hear the whole movement. You'll probably know when the development begins, but I'll reappear on screen in case that helps. It's signalled by the most plaintive minor key, E minor for those who want to know, voicing of the four-note figure on piano, followed by the that little tune. This is predominantly a bright and positive movement, but significant sections of it are minor, questioning, uncertain, and nearly all of the development falls into this category. But finally, the piano turns the music back to major, and we are in effect back at the beginning with the recapitulation. One other thing, and this is about the cadenza. In Mozart's time, this was an opportunity for the soloist to display his or her virtuosity, but also their ability to improvise. No doubt Mozart and Beethoven frequently improvised cadenzas for their concerto when they were performing them, but they also wrote cadenzas for other performers, and these we still have. Indeed, Beethoven wrote them for some of the Mozart concerti, and that became the norm in the 19th and 20th centuries. Concerti generally have cadenzas which their composers wrote. However, fairly recently, the practice of new cadenzas written by the soloists has returned, and both Alfred Brendel and Andras Schiff, among others, have done that for the Mozart concerti. The performance that you're going to hear is Andras Schiff's performance, partly for that reason, because something very nice happens in his cadenza. He's excellent in every one of these concerti, and in this one, playing his own cadenza in the first movement and building on a little martial figure in the main body of the movement, a figure that Mozart has provided, he triumphantly introduces a wonderful surprise, one that may well make you smile. We meet an old friend, an old musical friend. This is well worth hearing. So now, without any more from me, here is the performance of the first movement of Mozart's Concerto No. 25 in C major, Köchel 503, played by Andras Schiff with the Salzburg Mozart Orchestra, conducted by Sandor Vegh.